Is a little bit sloppy there. It needs to be crimped up a little bit. So I just give it a twist around one time. It puts tension back on it. Okay, all three cables are hooked up. Let's give that a whirl. Let's try it one time without the truck running. Be a little quieter. So, turn the power on. Hit raise. Full raise. Full right. Full left. Center it up. And hit down. Alright. Works good. I'm going to go through the motion one more time. Raise, right, left, and down. That's it. Shut her off. Time to take it off the truck. Alright, take it back off. Make sure the chains are loose. Drop that, give that a smash with your foot. It kind of locks it into place there. Unplug some cables here. 1, 2, and then the third one's on the other side. And the third cable. Just hang it up there out of the way. Alright, pull your pin. It locks back in the down position. Give it a hammer with your foot. And that should sit nice. Okay, it doesn't look like there's too much to this. I've got it bolted on up here, and I got one nut and bolt up there. I didn't bother drilling out the second one because I decided not to. I can remove these shoes pretty easily. Just like that, and then the whole thing just slides out like that. Okay, the other side. Hopefully the other side's a little bit easier. That's how it's supposed to be. Just need to put a little anti-seize on these pins here. Those are off, I'll get them out of the way, onto the actual frame. Okay, last night I ran out of daylight, I ran out of batteries, and I ran out of enthusiasm to finish this job, but I'm going to pick up where I don't know where we left off. The cameras, when I checked them, were dead, and I think you probably missed the entire bumper removal and the entire disassembly. So what I'm going to do is lay out the parts I took off the frame. I mean, obviously you could say I took the bumper off. Very easy. Just 4 bolts. And these plates that go in behind here or here, I forget which side, but really easy, and a couple of plugs to take off your fog light connections, and the bumper's off. There's also a bracket that goes on the side here and just screws in there. I just left the bolts in the hole. So 6 bolts in total, 4 of them the same size. That one's a little bit smaller, one on each side. And I believe there's supposed to be, I think it's in the back shed, a big steel bar that ties these 2 frame ends together for strength. Had to remove that to put the plow on. I'm not going to put it back on right now because it's going to take me forever to find it back in that mess. So I'll put it on another time. I'm not going to be working this thing. I'm not going to be pulling bulldozers out of the ditch or anything with this, so I'm not too concerned about it suddenly, you know, squeezing together and twisting. And okay, so here's the parts. I'm going to lay them out here now. This is the driver's side frame mount. That passenger side frame mount, I think it's like $700 sitting right there. A shoe goes in and is removable anytime to each side, so I'll just lay those to the side. That's what your plow fits into. And then tie the whole thing together, there's a piece of angle iron that goes oh yeah, down here. Okay, so that should explain it. When it slides up and in there, you're going to see there's only actually 2 holes that I had going on in the frame here. One at the back is what I had, 1 nut and bolt through here. It's supposed to wrap around the frame. You're supposed to drill the frame for a second one, but I didn't, and I just didn't. The other one I have, I believe, I think I drilled that one. I might have drilled them both, but either way, it's just a matter of sliding that thing up into place. marking the holes. Okay, so yeah, you can slide it up into place. You can mark this hole. In fact, you could even I would put a floor jack under it so that it's held up tight against the frame. This vertical plate up here is going to slide up in behind your frame on the other side, on the radiator side of the frame. And then you're going to see two mounting bolts on the front of that line up with your bumper plate, your bumper mounting plate on the inside. The bumper itself is going to be mounted out here on the outer two, and the plow mounting mounting assemblies get mounted there. I'll show you that in a second. So this one here was for this plate once it gets wrapped over the top of the frame. So just looking again real quick one time, up underneath the frame, I'm going to pop the camera up under there, but I don't know if you're going to see anything. But up on the inside of the frame, there's a plate. Now, I don't know what that's there for. I suspect it's just a Ford thing. I'm going to try to take a peek. Yeah, that's welded right to the frame, so that's a permanent thing. I really don't know what it's for. Maybe that's where that stabilizer bar goes that I said I removed. I think it might be. I think it might bolt to that. Ties the frame together. So those two holes line up with these two holes. All right, so I've just got the nuts and bolts sitting in there for now. But that might be the first thing you'd want to do, is raise this up into place, jam this up against the bottom of the frame, maybe put a floor jack under it to tighten it up, and then slide these nuts and bolts in there, maybe snug them down a little bit. Now you got a template to drill whatever holes you want to drill. Okay, so let's assume now that's what you've done. So this is now bolted up to the inner side of your frame. Maybe you didn't have a hole in your frame here, but you can, you know, punch it and drill it. And I got a pretty heavy duty drill, so it went through pretty easily. And you can then bolt that on, but in order to get the bolt on the inside of the frame, that's what this is. So let me just take that nut off for a second. So this is going to be slid inside the frame like this. All right, and you're going to fish it back in there, and you're going to find that hole you drilled. If it's easy, I'll just go ahead and do it. Probably not going to be easy. Several hours later. All right, so you can see I found the bolt there. It's poking through now. And then this just stays in there. In my case, it stuck out a little too far, so I just bent it over 90 degrees. And now I've straightened it back out again for a second use. Okay, so you're going to slide this inside the frame. You're going to find the hole in the frame, poke that bolt through, and then you can bolt on or put your nut on that and tighten her down. The back of the assembly is now tight on the frame. Up on the front, you've probably got this bolted to the bumper mounts now, those inside two bolts on the square plate there. And you tighten that down. All you've got left is you want something to grab the frame itself. So that's what this guy is. So it's going to have its own nut and bolt at the top. It's going to straddle the frame at the front like this. Okay, so that's going to sit on there. That plate's going to come up and get bolted to it there. And on this side, you may have to drill a hole, but there's the hole that I've got right there. And then I've got a smaller one of these. Just slide that right on in the frame. Okay, and find the little hole you drilled in your frame there, poke it through, tighten your bolt down, bend this over 90. Once the bumper goes on, you don't see that anymore. So the whole thing is then bolted on and you're done. If this is up in the air, it's attached to the truck, you'll see there's a pin back here to hold this right here. So let's just pull that pin off for a second. Just slide the shoe in till it sits on that, and then hold it up while you put the pin in, and it's now attached. you'll put a cotter pin or something, or like a pin through that to hold it, and that's done. That's ready to hold your plow. Once you have both sides attached to your frame, then you tie it down. Probably have to keep everything loose until you do this final step, and that's putting on this piece of angle iron, which you might have to get a different one and cut it to length and drill it. This is for an F250. It's the right length, and it kind of replaces that stock metal beam I was talking about that ties the front of the frames together there. So yeah, there's the 2 bolts there for that side and 2 on that side. It's now tied together and it's tied up to the frame. You're done. Might be worth noting that you know, where's the thing? Oh yeah, it's on up here. Let's take this off before I forget. Okay. Might be worth noting, I've got this plate mounted as far forward as I can. Okay, so there's this little welded plate on the bumper mount here. So in order to run this as far forward as I can, I just ran it up. I think I did, unless that hole already existed, but I think I drilled it. So just ran it up as far as I could and drilled a hole. It looks like you're supposed to drill 4 holes. I just did 1 because never had a problem with the plow. It was fine. I was never doing any big industrial plowing, commercial plowing. I was just dive bombing it into my own snowbanks. That's strapped up. I can hook up the fog lights again. Okay, very easy. Just a plug. Click. We're home. Did the one on this side already. That should fit. There we go. Snug it down a little bit. Alright, let's get these cables up out of there. Okay. Alright, so the main power cable for the plow has 2 wires. Black one for negative terminal on one of the batteries. In my case, you might have just 1 battery. And then the red one runs down to a solenoid, which is triggered by your controller in the cab. Holy. Negative cable gone. What kind of sucks is I just put a brand new motor, electric motor, on that pump for the plow. It was kind of working intermittently, so I took the end off. I took it apart. I took the end off the motor, and looked inside, and it was all corroded and just disgusting in there. New motor, like $350 at least. Got it working perfect after that, and then I never used the plow again. But I would not have been able to sell it without it working, so there. Why is this taking forever? That's got to be it. Okay. Voila. Okay, what do I got going on here with the red wire? Probably was supposed to unclip that delicately, but I don't know how. Okay, red wire is just jammed into a 30 amp fuse for something. Not sure what that is, but let's just pull that fuse out. Let's pull that. And the wire that was jammed in there can now be free. Something just went flying. It's the fuse. Went flying and is now gone. There it is. And let's pull that red wire out of there. Okay, that's free to roam. And it's out. It is free. No. Must be another one. plug this back on. Okay. All right. Now that my truck's completely taken apart, there's the light bulb. So yeah, the little plastic collar that holds the headlight in just slides down. And then there's a clip on the back. Spin it the other way and you can see it. Just pull those off. Okay, hang on to that for a minute. And then, so that's how they do it. You patch in the factory plug into the headlight wire that's provided by Western, and then the Western wire plugs into the actual bulb. Okay, that headlight's done. This looks like a mess, but it's really not that bad. Once I sort of look at it and like, where's this one going? I got to pull those cables up from the bottom and then it'll get easier. Here's the two wires that run down to the other two plugs on the bumper. They should come up pretty easily. There's one. There's that camera done. Alright. So if this camera dies, just know that what I'm doing here is just taking this pile of wire. I just pulled the two out of the bottom there, and this is from the controller in the cab. And they connect over here through a cable to the relay. And you already saw me disconnect that from the battery, and that's the third cable. So let's see what you don't need to see me put my mess back together. There we go. Look at that. So sadly there's no camera on the tripod anymore to show all that awesomeness, but I'll just do it by hand here. There we go. Whoop. And then just grab what's hung up there. Oh, it's the other headlight wire I got to do up there. All right, the last camera died, so I'm down to my iPhone, and all I had was one last thing to do, and that is disconnect the passenger side headlight wire. Okay, there it comes. There's the headlight. Let's just pull this off. There's a little tang right in there. Should be able to get that off. Okay, there it goes, I think. Yep. Oh. Okay, I'll just set that bulb there for a second. You may not see down here, but I'm just disconnecting the factory plug from the rest of the harness. It's gone. So now I'm just going to tuck that bulb down into its spot in the headlight, and hopefully it will go without me having to see anything. Okay, I got the last headlight plug back in. You can't see it because it's pitch black. It just went and got dark like immediately. So the factory headlight plug plugs into this, and then this plugs into your headlight on the truck. And then depending on whether one of those cables is plugged in over here for the plow, it turns off your truck headlights and turns on the plow headlights. Sweet, I'm done. I gotta put this mess back together again. So hopefully you got something out of that. It's not an easy job, but I mean, a guy can do it. It's not a clean job either by any means. Not when you just had your truck rust proof like last week. I want to try lifting that plow with the blade to make sure we're good for when Buddy comes to buy this blade.
Okay, a last minute change of plans here. Turns out the trailer the buyer is using is an enclosed trailer. So my whole plan of lifting the plow and sticking on the side of the trailer all easy peasy is out the window. I need to come up with a different way. This thing is heavy. It's a heavy blade. There's no way the two of us we just can't lift it up and put it in an enclosed trailer. So I'm going to switch out the snow plow. I got some other things to do with the bucket over there anyway. So I want to put the bucket on, and then I've got these like handmade forks that I'm going to put on, and I think I can lift it better that way from the end. And then we could slide it right in through the door, set it down on the floor in the trailer, drop the bucket, drive away. Everybody's happy. Let's go. Some handmade pickle forks here. Working out just fine. I'll just keep it low right now. I'm going to turn it around. So we'll do a little test right here.